Ocala.
When I hear this song, I have this fond memory of going to the record store and getting this album with this psychedelic cover on it from this band. I never really knew what those guys looked like because the picture on the cover of that album by Iron Butterfly was, their images were so small.
Right,
you never really got to know Iron Butterfly, did you?
Who they were, right.
Carol Ann Baldwin is here. We're talking about gardens and gardening. And if you have a question or you want to interrupt us and ask a question, don't hesitate. We want you to do that. The number is 622-9622. Good morning, Carol Ann.
Good morning, Larry. That's right. Your input makes our show.
That's right.
So,
it makes all the shows, just about.
Makes all the shows.
Well, once in a while, once in a while, we'll have a guest who says no calls. I always feel like, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah.
Calls are the best part of it.
Calls make the best part, but it does sometimes if you're on limited time, it's,
that's usually not what it is.
Right.
Usually they have a controversial issue.
Right, and they don't want anything.
They don't want the controversy.
True,
I'm going to give you my opinion, and
that's all you get, is my opinion. Well, I want everybody else's questions and answers and feedback and input because that's what gardening's about. It's sharing those ideas.
I thought of you yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
You saw a pile of... You saw a cow making fertilizer.
Let me tell you something. Ever since I hit the cow...
Oh, right.
I've been trying to really pinch my pennies because now I have a car payment, you see, since hitting the cow.
Yeah.
And so when you're trying to pinch pennies, you eat a little differently.
Yeah.
And so I've been having a lot of bologna. Okay? I know.
Yeah.
And I used to be the guy who always had the lettuce, tomato, and onion.
Right, the whole word, yeah.
On
the bologna.
Something. Yeah. On anything. Okay. But I haven't lately because I'm cutting back, you know. So yesterday I went and got a nice head of lettuce. I know you don't like iceberg lettuce.
Right, but it's still the flavor, the texture.
But the edge is the outer leaves. They're very dark green.
But usually we throw those out or once
I don't.
Away.
No. I washed it, and I was eating it, and it tasted so good. I was thinking my body must need whatever's in this.
Yeah. It's
right?
not a whole lot, but it's well, you missed it.
But I was thinking about your 4x4 garden and that conversation we had last week.
Right. And we'll have to try to do something. With that, I'm hoping to get some. I asked for some more samples from. Wish we could get them to advertise. Maybe next year, if we can show them we're worthy of it. Of a garden bag that I'm going to be demonstrating at the Ag Center Gardens. We sell them there. They're called Smart Pots. They're called Smart Pots,
right.
and I asked for some more samples. But he had given me when I went down to Fort Lauderdale. I had talked with the rep for the Southeast, I think it was, and he had given me several samples. One was a 10-gallon, a 20-gallon, and what they called the Junior Big Bed. It's a small version of the big bed that they make, and it's about a foot deep or so, and it's 7 square feet is what the capacity is.
Okay.
And today, I have one more plant to put in it. But today at the Ag Center, I turned that one into a salsa bed. Everything planted in there. It's got Roma tomatoes, bell pepper. I have to get my jalapeno. I got my cilantro in there and a couple of little onions tucked in there. And so here's your ingredients to make salsa. All of this planted in 7 square feet.
Nice.
And so it's,
how much you
can put.
It's a lot of square footage, but it's small.
But it's small.
Yeah,
it's actually, it's not as big as a children's wading pool.
Okay.
I guess if it was the big junior bed, it would be about the size of a small, or the big the big bed pot. But these are a fabric pot, and I'm hoping to get some more. Maybe we can put one of those up at your house, and we'll
I want to see.
demonstrate it.
It's a
fill
foot
it up,
deep, and it's 7.
It's about, I'd say.
What's it made out of?
It's a fabric. It's a woven fabric.
Do you
It's
bury
real
it or
heavy.
just
No, you
put it-
just set it right on the ground. Because it's got a heavy fabric bottom, it'll mold itself to the ground.
So then you
and,
fill it up with dirt?
And you fill it up with garden mix, and I see.
Oh, there's your
going
phone
on. Mine.
All right, so we have to do this. We'll take a break early.
Yeah, okay.
All right, we'll take a break early, and,
we got a
and when we
guest
come back,
coming on.
you have a guest. So
I
let's
sure do.
take that break really early, and we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, variable cloudiness with a shower or thunderstorm in the area, high 78 to 82. And partly cloudy and mild tonight, those 64 to 68. Mostly cloudy and becoming windy tomorrow with some thunderstorms around mainly during the late morning and afternoon hours when they can produce damaging wind gusts, even an isolated tornado. The high tomorrow 78 to 82. Thursday, sunshine, breezy and much cooler, high 65 to 69. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Beautiful Moments Party Rental presents the Ocala Wedding and Events Expo 2016 on March 3rd. This event has caterers, photographers, florists, musicians, plus food, fun, and more. Brides, bring your bridesmaids and friends alike. 100% of the ticket sales goes to the Inflammatory Breast Cancer Network Foundation, and they're only $15 each. So mark your calendars for March 3rd from 5 to 8:30 p.m. for the Ocala Wedding and Events Expo at Beautiful Moments Party Rentals, 3400 Southwest 60th Avenue. Questions, call 307-8180. That's 307-8180.
All right, 11 minutes after 9 o'clock. We took an early break because Carol Ann has a guest today, and I'm going to let Carol Ann introduce your guest.
Okay, this morning we have the opportunity to speak with Lance Walheim. He's the Bear Advanced spokesperson, and he has been on the show a couple of times before, talking to us one time about citrus, about other landscape issues, roses and things like that. He's written several books on lawn care, and today he's here to talk to us about, on the phone with us, to talk to us about a new product that Bear has out as a 3-in-1 weed and feed, and a little more about lawn care. Good morning, Lance. How are you?
I'm great, Carol Ann. Great to talk to you.
Great to have you back on. This is a interesting new product that's out there, and we are coming coming out of winter into that spring season, looking at taking care of the lawn, bringing that lawn out, and making the best of it for the upcoming season. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, we're really excited about this new product. It's something that's going to save homeowners money, save them time, and it's still going to give them a great-looking lawn. It's a Bear Advanced 3-in-1 weed and feed for southern lawns. It actually kills existing broadleaf weeds like dollarweed, dandelions, and clover. It also prevents both broadleaf and grassy weeds, and that includes crabgrass, for up to 6 months. And then it feeds. So basically, before this product came out, you'd have to use multiple different products and make multiple different applications. So this is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of effort. So we're really excited about it.
Yeah, it is interesting. I know I've looked at the bag. I've read the product information on it, and it looks like because it's saying it's for southern lawns. It is for all of our St. Augustines. It's for our zoysia, but it's not for the Bahia lawns.
That's absolutely correct. Right. Bahia is not on the label. Bermuda and centipede grass are.
Okay.
And as you know, with all products, but especially with this one, you need to really read the label carefully because there's a lot of great tips on there.
Oh, there are.
As to when to apply it and get the best results. For instance, timing is very important with these products. You don't want to put it on too early. You don't want to get that nitrogen fertilizer on before the grass has really come out of dormancy. So basically what we say is to not apply it until after you've mowed, say, your St. Augustine grass twice.
Right.
And then you can apply it. And then, so, that's very important. Another tip is to apply it in the morning when there's a little bit of dew on the grass. That'll help with the contact herbicide. And then 24 hours after that, if you haven't had any rain, you want to lightly water it in.
Right.
So that you'll activate the pre-emergent. So these are all things that you need to know to really get the. Of course, we know the label is the law, but
Right.
I keep repeating to everybody that it's also the best way to get the best results from the product.
And that's with every product. That's one of those things that I do promote everybody to read the label, to follow the instructions. Read the label first. I mean, gardening, just like something in your kitchen, if you don't read the recipe before you do it, you might not come out with the results you want. And if you read the label and follow the instructions on the products that you're putting in your landscape, on your lawn, you're going to get your best results. You're going to get your best your safety, your effectiveness, and not damage your lawn, or being a steward of the environment, taking care of that as well.
Oh, you couldn't have said it any better, and I love the analogy of the recipe. I mean, that's exactly it. And all of the things you say are important. This is about sustainability and using the products properly so that we don't cause any problems, and it's very important.
Right. With the coverage, I see that the smaller bag, 12.5-pound bag, does 5,000 square feet. And that's a nice size. It seems like it's comparable to other products, and the dosing through there is also compatible with the Florida. Florida has some BMP laws, regulations within the state of Florida on how much nitrogen is being applied at any given time, because this has got a pretty high nitrogen level in it. But tell me about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've those are in line with all the guidelines from Florida, and we worked closely with University of Florida turf experts to make sure this was done. It's within the limits of a single application of nitrogen fertilizer, and half of it, or 50% of it, is slow-release nitrogen. So you get a quick green up, and then you get a sustained green up, which is obviously very important.
Right. And this is going to feed for about 3 months, but prevent weeds for up to 6 months?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So, and it can be used twice a year, so you could use it in the fall, also to get cool season weeds in some lawns, so that's also useful. And again, you can also go to, there's a lot of, like I say, all the information's on the label. We've got all the spreader settings, and there's an 800 number if for chance your spreader is not on there. There's information about, when you should mow, and also when it can be used on new lawns. If you've got a recently sodded lawn, you're going to want to wait 3 months before you use the product. If you've seeded or sprigged, you're going to want to wait 16 months, so you're not going to want to apply this very quickly. So these are all things that are very important.
So this is definitely for an established growing lawn.
That's right, and it's also important that it's going to be most effective on smaller but vigorously growing weeds. So That's why the timing is so important on this product as well. And we've also got instructions on how to apply it, what kind of patterns to use on your lawn, and then also if you go to BearAdvance.com, we've got some great videos to also give you some suggestions on how to apply it and where to apply it. So, it's exciting, and as with all our Bear Advance products, we're backing it up with the best information we can provide.
Right. I had what was the question I had from a customer? Was looking at the bag. Oh, it was about spreaders again. Said that no spreader seems to be really, really accurate on what it's putting down per square footage. And he said he had tried to calibrate his at different times. So I had suggested that he err on the side of less is better. On the low, or I say lower setting, lower amount being applied at the given rate. If you know that your yard is 5,000 square feet, you still want to be able to get through that yard if it happens to be putting out more. I had suggested that he go to a setting that would actually put down less and then come back through and finish out if he knows his square footage of his area. Does that sound like something that makes sense?
Advice. I mean, there is a little bit of play in there because obviously people walk at a different pace.
Sure.
And so, you want to walk at an even pace. It's going to spread that amount evenly over the lawn. What we recommend is also that you do the perimeter of the lawn first, and then you fill in between, back and forth. And then it's also very important that if anything gets on any hard pavement or surfaces, that is swept back on the lawn, because we don't want any of that to run into the gutters or eventually into any types of waterways.
Right, and usually putting it down and not doing it when you know that there's going to be a rain event, especially here in Central Florida. Our rain events could go anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to 2 inches of rain. So it's better to know that you're going to have 3 or 4 or 5 days that aren't going to rain. Put it down with that dew in the morning, like you said, and water it the next day. Don't count on a rain event.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, that we don't want it to wash off either. You spend good money on putting things down on your lawn. You don't want it to wash off into the storm drain.
No, that's exactly right for many different reasons, and it's also true that a great way to minimize weeds also is just to maintain a good vigorous lawn, with proper mowing and proper fertilizing, obviously, and proper watering.
Go ahead.
Those are the kind of things that, a vigorous lawn is going to be able to compete with a lot of the weeds, which we know are advantageous plants. If you get in a situation where your lawn is weakened, it's going to be more inviting to weeds, and they're going to have a better chance of becoming established. I mean, no matter what you do, you're always going to get some weeds, it seems like, but, a healthy, vigorous lawn is going to have less than one that's not properly cared for.
That's true, and put that especially your St. Augustine and zoysia lawns should be able, when kept healthy, outcompete pretty much any weed that's going to try to pop up. But like you say, the birds will carry weed seed in. Your neighbor's lawn is not quite as maintained. Maybe you do use a lawn service to mow. They may be bringing in weed seeds. So trying to do your fertilizations in a healthy lawn between that, you should be able to fight them off.
Yeah, that's right. Or if you've got a situation where the lawn's not properly watered, or it's a little bit too wet, I mean, these are always going to cause problems. Forget about weeds, but it also can cause various disease problems. So, it really helps. I mean, there's great information available from the University of Florida websites where it really gives you the specific information about each type of lawn variety and how it should be cared for and when. Yes,
it does, and that is a great resource. I think many of our listeners do either use the university. The Solutions for Your Life is their website. And all you have to do is put in what kind of grass you have, what is your turf, and it will give you back the information. It will show you the fact sheets and what you need to do for your specific lawn. And this is, and then of course, using the resource of using the BearAdvance.com as a secondary one on looking if you have any questions on any of the Bear products.
Exactly right. I always say that all gardening is local.
Yes.
And that's why the cooperative extension and shows like yours are so important, so that you can, really get to the crux of what's going on in your very own backyard.
That's true. It is local. Anytime you can do any of the garden shows that are coming around, the extension offices that are out there, the universities, garden clubs, even nurseries, even individual nurseries. Many times their people, are garden and landscape people. Ask your neighbor even if they have a nice looking lawn and you want to know what are they doing. Go knock on the door and meet your neighbor and find out what it is he or she are doing that's making theirs look so much nicer, or what kind of improvements they've done in order to get a nice yard.
That's true. There's always one person in every neighborhood who has the best-looking lawn, and it becomes a competition in many cases. But
right.
Yeah, a lot of times that person can give you some good tips about what they're doing and when.
That's right, and it's this season it's a whole new time to come in and get something new, start that yard off on the right foot. But again, if you're going to go with something like this 3-in-1 weed and feed, make sure you have had to mow. We've had a strange winter this year. We had a very mild winter until just a few weeks ago. We had some some pretty good cold weather that threw the lawns into a quick dormancy and browned out a lot of them. So anybody probably haven't had to mow anything. Wait till you've had to mow. And would you say that pretty much on any fertilizer? If somebody, say, doesn't want to use a weed and feed, or they have a Bahia lawn and they're going to use another product, that putting down having to mow a couple of times before you put your first application of a fertilizer down or herbicide would be a good suggestion?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't, that fertilizer is not going to be used as well as it should if the lawn is not actively growing.
There you go.
And the last thing you want to do is force a lot of vegetative growth that may not be supported by root growth. So, yeah, you definitely you want to wait. You don't want to apply it too early.
Right. That's too early, and that's too many people start to think. We've had some gorgeous warm weather this last week. We've got some rain in the forecast for today and tomorrow, and I think we're going to get a little chilly again. So hold on to the spreaders, but do your research. Look for your products that you want to use on your lawn, or that would be good for your particular turf that you have out there, and either do your research online, go to the store, read the bag. Take your hand lens if you need to, and if you can't see the print.
Right.
But there is a lot of information on that bag. It's surprising how much is on there.
Yeah, luckily these bags are a little bit bigger, so it's a little easier to read some of the stuff on there. But I know what you mean. I have my magnifying glass very close sometimes to make sure I can read the label.
It's always handy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Well, Lance, I know we're getting ready pretty soon to go to our bottom of the hour break, and I know you've got some other calls to do. Do you have anything else you want to add in there real quick?
No, go to BearAdvance.com. We've got a lot of great info there and a lot of fun videos. So it's all about gardening and making sure you get the most enjoyment out of your garden. So thanks very much.
All right. Thank you, Lance. Until next time.
Caroline.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, it was an interesting conversation to listen in on.
Yeah.
All right. We're not quite at the bottom yet, so if you want to call in, the number is 622-9622. Perhaps ask a follow-up question on what you guys just talked about.
And I've got, because I have the information, I have the not the website, but the fact sheets on the product right here in front of me, actually, and have been looking and reading up on it a little bit because I want everybody to have the right stuff. But it's also, we'll get into your flowers, your veggies, and your herbs, whatever you got going.
Do you know what? One thing who I was thinking of, and this is not a specific person, but I was thinking about the person who moved down from up north, and they were the one with the best lawn in the neighborhood. But they come down here and they want to continue that competitive thing.
Right.
But what worked up there doesn't work down here.
Doesn't work down here, and you will never have the northern lawn in Central Florida. It just, because of the grasses that we have, it's never going to quite be that. And there's people who try, and they spend a lot of money trying to. And I think, to me, it's work it a little smarter, work it a little, that maybe this new product is something that'll work for them or for you as something. If you only have to use something like this twice a year, that's great. I guess you can only normally treat on your whole lawn for weed control twice a year anyway. And so why not put it as one that's going to, take care of everything?
Yeah.
So something new, something interesting. They do quite a bit of research. It all has to be, research backed. You just don't throw things like these out on the market. They have EPA registrations. There's different things that have to be done in order to bring it to the homeowner market. So it's not just haphazard, but again, like Lance said, like I say every single week to everybody I talk to, read and follow the label instructions. It gives you the best results. You spend good money on this stuff. Some of this stuff isn't cheap. Why not get the best results? Yeah, that's
the instructions. And your advice to take a magnifying glass is really good.
Yeah, it comes in handy. I mean, the bottles, the packaging, it's small. If you need reading glasses, carry them with you. Don't forget them in the car.
But in addition to it being small, sometimes these scientific-looking words can be
intimidating,
like an eye glazed over moment. Like, oh man, I don't want to read this anymore.
If I tell you the name of the chemicals that are in this, the herbicide is pinoxylum. The secondary herbicide, you have dicamba and indaziflam as your preventative, you're sort of going to go, huh?
Yeah, I know. You start to drift off a little bit, yeah.
Right. But so long as you read and follow the label instructions.
Good advice. We've got a whole half hour left in the garden with Carol Ann. If you want to call in and be on the show, you are welcome to do that. Regardless of the topic, Carol Ann will address it. The number is 622-9622. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. GOP presidential hopefuls vying for votes ahead of the caucus in Nevada.
The Rubio campaign says Cruz is up to dirty tricks by passing around a video of him that seems to show him trash-talking the Bible.
I think it's a very disturbing pattern of deceptive campaigns and flat out just lying.
Cruz has fired his communications director, saying the standards of conduct in his campaign have been made absolutely clear.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland. Those prices to rent homes slowing down a bit in January, according to real estate data firm Zillow, points to more supply of new apartments and landlords finding that housing costs can only rise so much before they strain renters' ability to pay. And country music loses a legend. Sonny James. He was born James Loden. He died Monday in Nashville at the age of 87. Fox News, we report. You decide.
A Napa guy knows the good thing about an old truck is you can treat it like an old truck, meaning however you want. Because the paint job looks best covered in mud. Dents build character, and unpaved roads are unscientifically proven to be 70% more fun. And with over 400,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep that thing running longer, stronger. Because it's not old, it's broken in. That's Napa know-how.
I've always had the dream, my whole life. I wanted to live on waterfront property. My favorite thing is just that little sound of that motor going by in the distance. And then about a minute later, the waves come out and make the old rickety deck squeak a little bit. It's where I want to be.
Home means something different to everyone. With millions of homes for sale or rent on Zillow, whatever home means to you, Zillow can help you find it.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
Yep, we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
Good credits, bad credits, it's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com, Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lockdock and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
25 minutes before 10 o'clock. You know why people listen to talk radio? Because they want to learn something.
There you go.
Right?
Right.
Hopefully they're entertained a little bit along the way, but bottom line is we learn, and we're learning from you today. We learned from Lance, and we have a caller right now wanting to chat with you. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Carol Ann, I just have a quick question as a follow-up to the conversation you and Lance just had.
Sure.
I, like many people, have St. Augustine grass right now, which is dormant, but I do have some of the flower weeds and all that are going on, the dollar weeds.
Right.
So would it be appropriate to go ahead and use weed and feed now, and then after we get a couple mowing and the grass starts to grow, to go ahead and fertilize at that point?
No, well, your weed and feed is a fertilizer.
Okay.
So it contains both, and that's really at this time of year. If you've had to mow the lawn, like he said a couple of times, you want it coming out of that dormancy because you don't want to put a fertilizer down unless it is. Unless it's come out of there, because one, it won't take it up properly, throw a lot of new top growth where you don't have a root zone that's come back up yet to support that top growth. If you can put off your weed and feed, for us, it is kind of a tough product to use in the spring, only because of that timing of, we have that late winter for us, cold weather, and then suddenly we're growing, but so are the weeds. That you would use something like a weed and feed, whether or not it was this product or another product, after you've mowed the grass a couple of times. That would be your weed and feed, and then you would use some other type of product later in the season, and you're looking at least, most fertilizers will feed about 10 to 12 weeks.
Okay.
So it's about every 3 months.
In the meantime, right now, with the weeds that I have, should I just kind of just let them continue to grow and do their thing, and then, hopefully our grass will start growing here soon where we can mow and get rid of it? Or is there any kind of just weed killer that I should look to put on the lawn? You could spot spray for your weeds right now on the areas, or you could just mow the tops off of them. Don't make sure that they're not going to seed. Okay. But you could do it that way, just mowing those off and just prevent them from going to seed, because some of these might be cool season weeds that are finishing up. Okay. And that way, and it should be pretty soon. I mean, I've talked to a couple of people who have actually mowed their grass all winter, that they've had an area where that cold weather really didn't hit them. Their grass never browned up or anything, so they've been mowing all winter long. But I would wait till the grass has grown to where when you've run that mower over, you're not just chopping up weeds and the few leaves that have fallen. Perfect. Well, thank you very much. You're welcome. Welcome. Bye. Yeah, that gets to be a little confusing, a little difficult for us, because I know even University of Florida never really recommends weed and feeds too much, and neither does the sod industry, but I think they're just trying to get, it would be using separate products. But if, we all know that most people want something that's going to take care of everything at one time. Right. we want everything easy, right? We want it all easy. We want it quick. We don't have enough time. If this one is used properly, and I almost hate to say it, that if you used it here in the spring with the right timing, and you used it again in the fall, that would be your 2 times for the year of applying a weed control across the whole lawn. Next spring, you should have fewer weeds to begin with. And so it could be that if you do this, you may find yourself nearly weed-free, or a strong enough, healthy enough lawn in a maybe a year or 2, that you may just be spot spraying after that and just keeping a healthy lawn going with a fertilization program. Because once you get unless your neighbor's full of weeds, or you let the weeds go in a certain part of your yard on a regular basis, they shouldn't be moving back in. So hopefully that helped the caller. Yeah, really. It's interesting how we always talk about gardens but the lawn is probably the biggest
garden.
That's our biggest expense.
In a way, yeah.
That's usually the biggest expense in a landscape is the lawn. Whether or not it's the water bill, if you happen to live in an area where you actually pay for your water usage, or fertilization and weed control in those areas. That's why a lot of people go and promote a zero lawn landscape or minimal lawn landscapes, but some of us we like to have a lawn. We entertain on our lawn. We have a front presence. Maybe you live in a community where you have to have a certain amount of square footage that's lawn, and trying to take care of that is something that can be, it can be daunting, or it can be one of those ones that you have a 30-mile-an-hour lawn that when the neighbors drive past it at 30, they look over and go, oh, look, his lawn is nice and green.
Do you know what I want to ask you something? You mentioned earlier that it's hard to imagine having the lawn you had up north down here. Okay, so just real quickly, I mean, I'm not one of those who says it was better up north, because I've been here way longer than I ever lived up there, okay? Just so you know. But I do remember as a young person walking barefoot in the grass and not even concerned for 1 second that I would step on something thorny. But there's a lot of thorny things in the southern grasses and Florida grass.
Right, in Florida grasses, and our grasses aren't necessarily soft.
Yeah, they're kind of coarse.
They're more coarse grass, and it's the variety of grass. We have the sand spurs, we have the fire ants, and.
But let me just finish, because if you go to like a resort like Disney, and you walk in their lawns, they've done something that it feels. You can walk in their grass.
Their grass is cut very high. It is healthy. It is maintained.
So can't we do that?
If you want to spend the money.
Oh, that's expensive.
It gets expensive, yeah. And you figure Disney, if they
just wear
start needing it, just wear your flip flops and realize that. I mean, if you grow up with it or you become accustomed to it, it's you don't know that it's really any different. So keep a healthy lawn, and a well-mowed lawn. I mean, St. Augustine grass is kept very tall, really, about 3 inches, and so that's quite a bit of grass blade that gives a cushion. And that's how, it helps to shade the root zone. It helps with shading the root zone, helps to keep some of the weeds out, some of the lower growing weeds. Keep a healthy lawn. Don't, it's not just nitrogen. That just greens, that just makes a lot of top growth, which again can cause problems. Time it out. Use your calendar. I sure miss the Master Gardener calendar because of that. But you can find, a lot of time in December and January. Right now, they're probably almost giving them away. Sometimes your banks give them away. Just these inexpensive calendars where you keep it in the garden shed or keep it on the wherever it is. You write down gardening things and put down on that calendar when you put your fertilizer down, what you used, how much, what was your spreader setting, and put yourself on a program. You don't do it every 8 weeks.
I think we have some calendars here, by the way.
We may have some of those manatee.
The manatee calendars might still be left. I don't know if Robin can poke her head and let me know, but we had some beautiful.
There's
manatee.
one hanging on my wall. It's on my kitchen wall. But it's one of those things. I also encourage people to get the old. None of us print out photos anymore. But
no more. Oh, we don't have any more. Sorry.
Out of the calendar. Sorry. But you can always do it on your wall calendar, put it on your computer calendar. However, just if you're doing your gardening, most of us keep a journal of some kind while we garden. Like I said, the old 3x5 photo albums that have the pocket for the 3x5 pictures. Use those for your tags off the plants you just bought or the seed packets that you planted with any information. 3x5 cards fit in those, or those 4x6
That's a good
slots.
idea.
3x5 cards fit in those 4x6 slots.
Yeah.
Pretty easy, and you can even take a picture of that flower so that you know what to look for when it comes back up, if it's a reseeding annual kind of thing. Write the directions or peel the directions off the bottle and keep them in there for whatever fungicides and insecticides that you use, or write the instructions down so that when you ruin that label, you still know how to use the product.
Yeah, right.
That's always our biggest thing is something happens and we slop water or we slop product down the label and the label gets gooey and gets stiff and suddenly you can't open that little booklet anymore and know how many ounces to the gallon to put down.
Do you know another thing I think we do? We use things sparingly, and then we come back next year and it's still in the tool shed, but it's gotten thicker or it's gotten...
Or we're afraid that it's not as good because it's sat
or maybe it
in the
still
shed.
is.
Right.
Because it looks...
It may have
funky,
changed
like it's got
appearance
cloudy or
right,
yeah.
or you need to, or it didn't work when you first tried it because you really needed to shake that up thoroughly.
All right, we'll take a little break and we will be right back. We've got 15 minutes left in Carol Ann's In the Garden with Carol Ann, so call if you want to be on the show, 622-9622.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, variable cloudiness with a shower or thunderstorm in the area, high 78 to 82. And partly cloudy and mild tonight, those 64 to 68. Mostly cloudy and becoming windy tomorrow with some thunderstorms around mainly during the late morning and afternoon hours when they can produce damaging wind gusts, even an isolated tornado. The high tomorrow 78 to 82. Thursday, sunshine, breezy and much cooler, high 65 to 69. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Your weekends are getting a little retooled.
Swear to God, not making a joke.
Check this out. New shows? Check. We are Force. Some new talent? Check. Let's welcome the guys.
Let's get it going.
Arnie Spanier.
Unbelievable.
TJ Reeves.
This is what you get.
Your weekends are on fire.
Because that's how exotic it is.
We are Force.
Hospice of Marion County has an urgent need for volunteers to share a conversation with someone, run errands, hold someone's hand. All you need is a willingness to help others. Our volunteers believe the blessings they receive far exceed the services they offer. Will you consider serving, caring, and making a difference? Call today, 873-7441. Hospice of Marion County, making more moments of life possible.
Hi, this is Vanessa Lane Jennings with the Jennings Law Firm, located here in beautiful Ocala. Join me every single Friday at 10:30 for Legal Lane. We'll be discussing various legal topics such as family law, criminal law, contracts, and much more. So this is your chance to call in with your legal questions and have them answered. That's every Friday, 10:30, right here, WOCA The Source.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your mobile Verizon rep. But not just here, I'll deliver the phone to you in your home. While I'm there, I'll only sell you what you need and I'll personalize it to you. Want to have me get you connected? Then call me at 352-528-0020. I even offer unlimited home phone service for just $20 per month. Just call me, your mobile Verizon rep, at 352-528-0020.
WWWOCA, WWWOCA.
The most trusted name in news, Fox News, every half hour, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. One thing I want to remind you is that all of the shows here in WOCA, the locally produced shows that it would be, are all recorded and put up on YouTube and Facebook. And if you go to the WOCA The Source YouTube channel, that's where you can find all the shows. And if in the search box on our channel, you simply put in the Garden with Carol Ann, then you can see all of them. I mean, we've got, I don't know how many years worth of shows that you've done with us. And a few kind of special videos that we did with you, showing how to do like planting tomatoes.
We had all the we had all the YouTube and stuff.
Yeah. We
did automatic.
Do a few of them. So.
Right. Oh yeah. Those ancient ones on planting tomatoes.
Yeah.
Those were fun, but
back when we looked so much younger.
Yeah, back in the day, back in the other studios and all that other fun stuff. We were talking about, the different products, and like you say, you coming out of the winter and everything, and you had that bottle of whatever the product may be, and you're going, wow, I only used, and it's a quart bottle, and you used 2 ounces of it last spring to cure whatever problem it was, and you're seeing that problem come back again, and you're saying, wow, I wonder if this is still good.
Yeah.
Because it's been sitting out there in the shed, and the seal, of course, has been broken because you used it. They usually don't have a shelf life. I mean, so long as it's not something that has bubbled over or anything like that. You just may need to shake them well. Take and turn them upside down, just like you would a can of paint that maybe sat on the shelf for a couple months, and you're going to go back and touch up that door where the dog keeps scratching. Well, you still got to shake that can of paint up real good, or it too is not going to be very good. Or if the product froze, same kind of thing. They tell you don't let paint freeze. It's because these things will separate. After maybe 5 years, you might find out that, yes, some of these items have crystallized. And at that point, yes, proper disposal of those, you can always call the county on the hazardous waste kind of thing so that you do properly dispose of it. Don't just pour it down the drain. Not the way to do it. We don't pour anything just down the drain. But even when you buy a new product, I still shake them. You know, you don't know how long that sat in a distribution center on a warehouse shelf. Then it's put on a truck and shipped to a store where it then gets set on a shelf until you buy it. And it could be that it's been pushed back by whoever's stocking shelves instead of pulled forward and rotated and things like that. I try to rotate stock, but that's just me. And pulling from the back is not necessarily going to get you a fresher product. And because there's no, like I said, there is no expiration. You know, we might do that with milk. You know, you reach in the back because that's where all the new milk goes in the back because we rotate our refrigerators. But with that, just shake them up good. You know, that's always the thing is get a good mix on that. As with anything liquid, you know, you shake up the cough syrup. You don't use cough syrup every single day, but when you take that bottle out because you start to get a cold, you shake that bottle up before you ever take a dose. Shake up your liquid items. Dusts are not going to be that issue, obviously, or granulated fertilizers and things like that. But even your fertilizers, if you've had that bag, it's a small bag or something, you might even give that a shake around, or when you dump it in the bucket, twirl it around. You got your gloves on your hands, just twirl that around to where you know that it's blended back in together. So just, with all those, just, read the directions on everything. If more and more people read the directions, we'd have fewer issues with the products of, people needing to, needing to have further regulation against them or towards those specific items. Be a good steward. Read and follow the directions on your packaging.
That's your mantra.
That
right
is my mantra. I said that they'll probably put that on my tombstone.
Oh God, that would actually be funny, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
You have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question. I have two potted citrus trees that are little dwarfs that were meant, I think, to be kept in big pots.
Okay.
One is a Meyer lemon key lime variety combination.
Right.
And one is a mandarin orange.
Wonderful.
Now, yeah, the mandarin orange has produced beautifully. The lemon side of the one tree's done okay. The key lime side is not doing well. It tends to get blooms and tiny fruit, and then everything falls off.
Oh.
So one of my questions is, what's causing that? The other question is, can I plant them in the ground, and how do you think they would do?
I'll answer them backwards. They can go in the ground, yes. The tangerine, you said the one's a tangerine?
Mandarin orange.
Mandarin orange, and the Meyer lemon should not have a problem with our temperatures. The key lime is apt to freeze every year. Now, in the key lime and lemon, are they two separate trees in the same pot, or are they actually grafted on?
They're grafted on.
Okay. Are they on? Do you know if they're? That's a hard part. Are they both grafted onto one stem, or is it the key lime is grafted onto the lemon?
I think it appears appears the key lime is grafted onto a lemon. I'm not positive.
Right, right. Well, that's where I'm thinking you might be having the problem with the key lime is that lemon. If you know, the lemons have such large fruit. And are very vigorous growers, where the key lime is a much smaller fruit, as well as a smaller plant to begin with. It's not quite as, at least for us in this area, not quite as vigorous of a grower. So that one, because it's grafted, I would probably keep that in a big container. You might want to watch and make sure that they're getting enough fertilizer. The fruit dropping, it could just be, how old is the tree?
I think they're like 3 years old.
Okay, yeah, they should be able to be holding fruit now, except that it could be that lemon is just out-competing that key lime on the nutritional uptake and is just got way more growth, way more, that it's just a hardier, more vigorous plant side of the tree.
Would it be better to have a separate key lime and a separate lemon? And in that case, the lemon could be planted outside, but the key lime should probably be kept in a pot?
That's probably the way I would do it, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how about the pH in the soil? Should I have that tested, do you think?
You might have it checked, but usually because our citrus grows right in the sandy soils that we have. Watching that, actually, that in a potted one, you got to watch that it's actually just not too rich of soil, because they don't need it that rich. And using a citrus fertilizer, if the mandarin and the lemon are doing okay, that's probably not the issue.
Okay.
Yeah, the pH probably isn't the issue so much. I'm thinking it's just an out competition on the available food to the tree.
And now's a good time to plant the mandarin orange out, is it not?
Yes, that'll be fine to plant them out now. If it's in a container, you can dig the hole no deeper than what it is, but you can go twice as wide. No real need to amend. I wouldn't fertilize it immediately after planting. I would wait, give it a chance, give it a good 6 weeks to get rooted where it's growing, because you're going to water it, every day for the first week, every couple of days for the next week, at least once a week for the next couple weeks, and that just washes fertilizer away. But after about 5 to 6 weeks, using a citrus fertilizer on them between the drip line and the trunk, just a good scattering, and with those I would consider them almost like it would be like a new planting, where you might go about a half to a third to a half of the recommended amount more often.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate your help.
You're welcome. Good luck with those.
And Caroline, you have another phone call.
Right.
Good morning. You're on the air with Caroline.
Morning.
Well,
Somebody
left.
got bashful.
They left.
Yeah, they left. They got probably looked at the clock and said, "Uh-oh, it's too close to the time."
You had two. Yeah, you've done long answers in 30 seconds.
Oh,
sometimes.
I know.
Yeah.
I've learned to talk fast at times.
Hold on, let's see if I can get it now. All right. Good morning. You're on the air with Caroline.
Yeah, all right. Let's make it work this time. The name's Steve.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I've been up north working, so we're just moved back, retired from Florida, bought my house. I have a citrus tree, and the fruit on it is, it looks like an orange,
right,
but it's very sour.
Very sour.
So, yeah, very sour. Can I graft something in this, save this tree to get useful fruit, or does this tree need to disappear?
If it's a big tree, I would probably just get rid of the tree and replant with something that would produce good fruit. Because if it's a big tree, it's hard to graft onto those limbs.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's definitely 15 feet or better. So.
Okay, yeah. Those have got large limbs, large trunk. The only other way you could do it would be to cut it way down, let it sprout back out and graft onto that. But then you're talking several years. I think to me it's easier to take the tree out and plant a new one, and that way you're starting with a good tree.
Yeah, I think this was one of those special trees that's supposed to have been in a pot. It's got like
several different varieties.
So.
Yeah, it was one of the and those can be planted out in the landscape. That's fine. That they call them a cocktail tree, where they've got several varieties all on one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we are at that point.
We are out of time this
Stanley
time.
Spencer is singing that song.
It brought my song back up. There we go. Gonna take us out for the day. Everybody have a great Tuesday.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Next week it'll be March.
Good show. And remember, these shows are recorded. You can view them and listen to them and learn from them again. Share them with anybody.
There you go.
Go to WOCA The Source on YouTube. That's our channel.
Right.
And then in the search box, put Carolyn put In the Garden with Carolyn.
Right.
All right, we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The president delivering a statement this morning on the controversial detention center in Cuba as Congress gets ready to receive a plan to close Gitmo.
The president's plan is to transfer away as many detainees as possible to third countries and bring those remaining to the U.S. But that's a step that's opposed by many members of Congress, Republicans and Democrats.
That political opposition stands in stark contrast to the best advice that the commander-in-chief receives from our military.